Welcome to part 2 of our Multicam OBS PIP PowerPoint tutorial. This part will be the part of the PowerPoint computer. So hopefully this one will not be as long. It will be basically setting up the computer that runs the PowerPoint that will send the signal to the streaming computer in the scene that we had talked about there. And then the other thing that it will do is you can hook up a remote. We use a Logitech R800 remote and allow the person who's doing the presentation to control it that way. I think we should be able to just hop right into it. So this is the, as we had talked about last time, this is the setup for the presentation, and this scene here is the PowerPoint scene, and this is the scene right here. I'm going to show you basically this source, the PowerPoint from laptop. I'm going to show you how to set up that laptop to be able to get the signal, the video and audio from that laptop over to here. So if you actually go in and you take a look, remember, if you look at the properties of that, then that was it would be the NDI signal from there. So you set that properly. So let's hop over to the other computer. I've already remoted into it. So this is a Windows machine, and I have already got PowerPoint on it. So we may as well just bring up PowerPoint, and I'll actually just bring up the presentation. Actually, I'll just explain a little bit about, you can see this screen here is the screen that is the main screen, and this side, the right side, is going to represent the confidence monitor. That confidence monitor would be at the front of the church or wherever the person is going to be viewing that. And so that's basically the layout of the screens for it. So I'll just start up PowerPoint and open up the presentation. So it's right here, there. We'll just open that up. And what we do is we have the PowerPoint is going to be running on this monitor, the left side monitor. And what we need to do is you need to install the screen capture utility from the NDI tools. I'm not going to walk you through installing the NDI tools. It's very simple to install. I'll leave the link in the description on where you can get those. There are many tutorials on how to do that. I find those actually quite boring because it's just a standard install and there's nothing really special. You just hit next and it goes through on that. So once you have the screen capture installed, you need to start the screen capture. Okay. So screen capture lives in the taskbar here. And usually the way that it's set up, you really don't need to do anything with it. So because it's just going to capture the first monitor of the main screen and put it out as an NDI source on your network. And then from the streaming computer, then you can actually just grab that So I'll just show you here the settings on it. The one thing that you do have to do, and this is why it might be a little bit longer video, is you need to set the audio source for that. And the way that I did it the first time, it was not great because the audio source that I had set to was system audio. And because when I brought the system audio in, and I was using this computer as well to bring in the live stream, I created an audio loop, and I think I might show you just a little bit of what the echo that happened on that.
Youth building. It was for computer training. And at the time, the computers weren't really yet going well in 2008. But then things were happening different, and they said, here, this building you can use. So this building looked very different as we come in. We had to tile the floors and set up things. And this was the entrance to the building. And then as the building, we changed now. It's the entrance as the computer cafe.
And I have to give a shout out to Tim Manick on the For Me group, and I reached out to people there, and he was able to use some tools that he had at his disposal to go in and take out some of the echo that we had in this. So what we need to basically do is set up the use the virtual audio cable and have any audio that goes through in your PowerPoint presentation go through only to, I've got actually two of them there. You only need one of them to make it work, but I purchased the second cable on that because I do find it useful when you're trying to route audio, because you don't do that kind of thing, then you get a whole bunch of issues with that. So you need to basically take the audio and switch it to any one of the cable A or cable B. I'm just going to set it to cable B. And then once you set that up, then you're not going to get an audio loop. So I've already showed you the sample of what it would be. But that is really the only setting that you need to change. The other settings for the screen capture, I guess it would depend on the type of networking conditions that you have. You can actually go in and change the type of video and frame rate depending on your network speed and things like that. So you would have to probably just take a look and see whether or not, test it out, obviously try and test things out, and if you might need to adjust some of these settings here, but the standard settings I found worked fine. So that's basically, there wasn't really too much that I needed to change on that. So once you have that set up, then you can basically, if you were to run the presentation, so let's go to the slideshow and then run the presentation. You see it's going to run on just this monitor here, and then all of this would be sent back to the streaming computer, okay? And then on the other side, I'll show, we use Easy Worship, and so I just found that it was very easy to use Easy Worship. The other thing that you could use, if you don't have Easy Worship, you can use Studio Monitor. Sorry, that's what it was called. So if you click the Studio Monitor, then it will come up, and I've actually got it set to automatically go over to the second screen there, and you can basically click the hamburger menu here, And now you can see that we have NDI sources here. And so what we would then do is we would pick up, now the other streaming computer is Mike's MacBook, and so it would be OBS 2 for the source for that. Okay, so let's just hop back over to the other computer, which is a streaming computer. And now we should be able to click on this, click on the properties here, and then in here we should see, yes, this is the other computer, the desktop one. So if we click on that and we click OK, so you can now see the source. I'll just verify here that you can see this is the second computer NDI source that's coming, and it's picking up the first monitor and it's running the PowerPoint there. And so that is going to come in there. Now, if we were to switch again over to the other computer, you're going to actually see that the second monitor on the right hand side is going to actually be the same picture, but it's not. It's actually this live stream computer here being sent over the network again to the monitor. And so if I were to actually, in fact, why don't I switch to the final scene? And there you can see. So remember, we talked about, we have the final computer, final scene has the cameras there, and you can switch these cameras. Right now it's just got the yellow color there. I think the next video I will actually switch the camera out to just my webcam, so you can see the final thing when we're talking about how we set up Touch Portal. But that would be what's there. So now if I were to actually switch over to the one that runs the PowerPoint and the confidence monitor, then you can see this is actually pulling in what the live stream has. And so here we can see how that works. And again, if I were to switch the screen, then there's a little bit of delay because it's actually going over the network and coming back. So when he clicks through, this would be, he can basically click the remote using the Logitech remote, or someone at the back can do it. But as he's clicking through that, then it would work, right? In fact, yeah. And so that will work well for that. So I think that's basically it for setting up the streaming computer. Let me know if there's anything that you don't understand on that. The key point is to make sure you have the NDI tools installed with the screen capture, and be able to also the virtual audio cable to set up. Oh, that was the one thing I should show you on there. So let's go back to the to here and show you how to route the audio to the virtual, to the cable there. So let's just close this down, and actually let's just close this for now, because it would get a little annoying. And I think I will just show you the one screen here, because we don't really need to see the second screen. So I'll just switch to this one here. So in order to route audio from PowerPoint to the virtual audio cable, you need to basically run some sound on PowerPoint. So I'm going to find a slide with a video that has sound in it. This one here has sound in it, and you can just play that. And once you do that, I'll bring up the settings here actually. So you need to go to sound settings and then scroll down at the bottom and you go to app volume and device preferences. Okay, and then here you can see all of the programs that are that Windows recognizes have been using sound, and so you need to actually go back to PowerPoint and hit play. Then it's using sound, and then if you go back here, you can see there's PowerPoint in the list. And then what you need to do is just actually set the input. The first drop down is for input, then the second one is for that's for output, so what you hear. And so you can set the set that to cable B, and that will basically redirect it from coming from your regular speaker or from your system default speaker. You want it to go to cable B so that it will be directed there, and then you will not get any loop audio issues that we had. So once you do that, then you can basically go again back to the NDI tools here and just verify that your audio source again is going to be cable B. If you don't have any sounds, you can set it to silent, and then you can make sure that you're not going to have any loop on that. But we have sound coming from our presentation, so we use the virtual audio cable to prevent the loop issue. So next time we do the presentation, it will not have that echo loop. We'll just switch to both displays again so that you can see. And then let's turn on the video monitor again. Takes a little bit to come up and find it. Might have to set that up again. Oh, there it is. Okay. So the thing is, obviously, it's going to capture whatever is on this screen. And so right now I've got the settings of the computer. So you need to be careful when you're doing screen capture like this, if you don't want weird things going out, and I kind of find it tacky if you do let these kind of things get out on your live stream. So you always want to make sure that you've got the PowerPoint actually running, so you want to run it from the beginning and just have that just going up before your service starts. And then if you do once it's time to start the presentation, then there's no chance of it seeing some setting screens and things like that. So that's how that works. So I think that's it for this portion of the presentation, and the next one will be how to set up the touch portal to be able to control the camera, move it from the four corners, and also switch between different cameras. If you have multiple cameras, you can set up as many cameras as you want, and then just set it so that you have different cameras that you can switch between on that. So that's what the next tutorial will be. Thanks a lot.